Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. Today we're going to recap last night's Monday Night Football game. We'll recap the college basketball and the NBA and the NHL from last night. Look ahead to everything. Today we have the Dancing with the Stars finale. We have the portfolio, soccer, news and notes, and best bet. So a lot of things that have to be taken care of. Monday Night Football is where we'll begin. It was an entertaining game for a game that featured two backup quarterbacks as the Bengals come out on top 34-31 in overtime. They improved to 6-6 to keep themselves in the AFC playoff picture. The Jaguars drop to 8-4. Trevor Lawrence sprained his ankle in the game. Luckily, it wasn't worse, so the Jaguars are probably relieved about that. But yeah, Jake Browning, second career start, and he was much better than he was against the Steelers. And granted, the Jaguars' defense is worse than the Steelers' defense, so good on the Bengals. And all of a sudden, it's not a foregone conclusion that the Jaguars will win their division. So, a very fascinating result, to say the least. Okay, now move on to college basketball. We'll go over the small window from yesterday, and then tonight's window is much larger and much more interesting. Bellarmine over Boyce, 88-54. East Carolina over Maryland Eastern, 63-52. Number 4 Purdue over Iowa, 87-68. Coastal Carolina over St. Andrews, 110-46. Georgia State over Middle Georgia State, 89-57. North Dakota State over San Jose State, 83-78 in overtime. Arkansas over Furman, 97-83. Alabama over Arkansas State, 89-65. UTEP over Western New Mexico, 90-62. And Oregon State over Cal Poly, 70-63 in double OT. All right. Tonight's game, 6 o'clock. Central Connecticut and Boston College. My line is BC by 14.5. And it is 15.5 and 142.5. I'm going to take the over. Lemoyne Army, my man's Army 3.5. And I do not see a line. Oh, here we go. Army by 3.5. And what's the total? 133.5 over. Fishery Missile, we could skip. 6:30 ESPN, number 11 FAU, number 20 Illinois from the Garden. It's the Jimmy B Classic. My line is FAU by 1.25. And we have 2.5 and 145.5 over, but I don't feel good about it. George Mason, number 17, Tennessee. My line is Tennessee by 10.75, and it's 14.5 and 135.5. I'll take George Mason getting the points. Queens, Winthrop. My line is Winthrop 11.25, and it's 6.5 and 157.5. I'll lay the points. Delaware, Xavier on Fox Sports 1. My line is Xavier 8.25, and it's 11.5 and 148.5. I'll take UDEL in the points. Providence at number 19, Oklahoma on ESPNU. My line is Providence only by 1/4. And Oklahoma's giving 5.5. Total is 143.5. I'll take Providence plus the points and plus 184 outright. Number 23, Wisconsin and Michigan State on Peacock. My line is Sparty by 5. And it's 5.5 and 131.5. I'll take the over. Sunny Post-Dem Albany, Fife vs. Citadel, Gwinnett Mercy, Detroit, or Delaware State, New College, Florida Gulf Coast. We can skip all those. Stetson, Charlotte. My line is Stetson by 1. And Stetson is an 8.5 point underdog to Charlotte. Total 132. Now give me Stetson plus the points at plus 330 outright. UNC Asheville, Kennesaw State minus Kennesaw by 6.25. And it is 2.5 and 164.5. I'll lay the points. Lafayette, Columbia minus Columbia 10.25. And it's 7.5 and 135.5. I'll lay the points of Columbia. Bradley, Akron. My line is Akron 3.75. And 1.5 and 138.5. I'm gonna lay the 1.5 with Akron. Drexel, Princeton. My line is Princeton 4.25. And it's 8.5 and 127.5. I'll take Drexel getting the points. Mississippi Valley State, Liberty. Mine's Liberty by 25. And Liberty, I don't see a line for this game. Oh, here it is. 31.5 and 1.3.5. I'll take Miss Valley plus the points. Edward Waters, North Florida, skip. Western Carolina, High Point. My line's Western by 9. And it's High Point 1.5, total 153.5. I'll take Western plus the points at minus 105 outright. Western Michigan, Notre Dame. My line is Notre Dame 12.5. And it's 9.5 and 128.5. I'll lay the points at Notre Dame. Navy, George Washington. My line is George Washington 17.75, and it's 11.5, 144.5. I'll lay the points. Merrimack, Florida. Mine is Florida 16.25. And it's 21.5 and 146.5. I'll take the points at Merrimack. NC Central, Virginia. My line is Virginia by 23. And it's 21.5 and 123.5 over. ESPN2, Villanova, Kansas State. My line's Kansas State by 2.75. And it's Villanova 2.5 to 141.5. Villanova's overrated. Kyle Neptune is proving to be a bust of a head coach. And he is not the next great head coach. And give me Kansas State. They have the better coach in Jerome Tang. Plus 2.5, plus 116 outright. The disrespect for Kansas State and the favoritism towards Villanova in the betting market. Ridiculous. 7:30, Louisiana Tech, Stephen F. Austin. Mine's Stephen F. Austin by 4.25. And it's 3.5. Total is 139.5. I'll take the... I like the under in that game, actually. SEC Network, Georgia Tech, Georgia. My line's Georgia 4.5. And it's 5.5, 146.5 over. We can skip champion Christian Yale, Monroe, Belhaven, New Orleans. Next up, Missouri State and Middle Tennessee. My line's Middle by 4.25. And it's Missouri State by 1.5. Total 132.5. I'll take Middle plus the points at minus 104 outright. 8 o'clock, KC and number 2 Kansas. My line is Kansas by 30. And it's 26.5 and 140.5. I'll eat the point. Hardin, Simmons, Tarleton State, Midway, Austin Peay. We could skip. Mount St. Mary's, Ole Miss. My line is Ole Miss by 14.75. And Ole Miss is giving 15.5 and 134.5 the total. I'll take the over. Don't feel good about it, though. Indiana State, Northern Illinois. My line's Indiana State by 0.5. And it's 8.5 and 165. Ooh, that's ridiculous. Give me Northern Illinois plus the 8.5 to cover. That's a lot of points for Indiana State to be favored by on the road. ACC Network, Cornell, Syracuse. Mine's Syracuse 7.5, and it's 5.5, 166.5. I'll lay the points at Syracuse. Weber State, Utah Valley. My line's Weber by 1.5, and it's 2.5 and 125.5. I'll take the over. We can skip the following: Central Penn, App State, Mississippi University for women, McNeese South Dakota, Mines, Wyoming. Next, Loyola Chicago, Tulsa at 8:30. My line is Tulsa by 1. And it's Loyola Chicago by 1 half, total 142.5. Loyola Chicago is getting the minus because of their Final Four run from years ago. This is nowhere close to the same team. Give me Tulsa plus the points and minus 104 outright. Fox Sports 1, Buffalo, Butler wins Butler by 19. It's 23.5 and 149. Gives me Buffalo getting all those points. All right, the best game of the night, 9 o'clock, ESPN, from the Garden, number 9, North Carolina, number 5, UConn. My projection is a pick'em, and it's UConn by 5.5, total 152.5. Give me Carolina plus the points. I think Carolina can win outright. I think there's a possibility that Acot's the best player on the court. UConn has the minus because they won the title last year. This is a different year. And I think that this is a close game. UConn probably wins because of being at the Garden, and that's another reason why they have a minus by their name. But I think Carolina keeps it within 5.5. Seton Hall, number 6, Baylor on ESPN 2 minus Baylor 11.25. And it is 11.5 and 150.5. Over. Don't feel strong about it, though. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, number 7, Gonzaga. My line's Gonzaga 23.25. And we have let's see here. 33.5 and 166.5. I'll take Pine Bluff to cover. Evansville, number 14, BYU. My line's BYU by 13.5. And it's 24.5, 151.5. Give me Evansville to cover. Number 25, San Diego State, Grand Canyon on ESPNU. My line is San Diego State by 1.5. I won't be shocked if Grand Canyon's a minus. And they're not. San Diego State's giving 2.5 totals, 142.5. I'm going to take the under. Montana State, Northern Montana, we can skip. North Texas, Boise State. My line is Boise 1.25. And it's 4.5 and 125.5. Giving North Texas plus the points. All right, another game on Peacock. Indiana, Michigan. My line is Indiana by 6.25. Why is Michigan favored by that much? That is ridiculous. Like, what is this? College football? Like, why is Michigan favored? Like, is there like a big injury on Indiana that I'm not aware of? Why on planet Earth are the Michigan Wolverines favored in this game? Insane to me. Give me Indiana plus 7.5 and plus 260 outright. Ridiculous. Pac-12 Network, Southern Utah, Utah. My line is Utah by 24. And it's 23.5 and 153.5. Give me the over. Oklahoma State, Southern Illinois on CBS Sports Network. Right line. Oh, and I meant to say the under in the Utah game. My bad. Oklahoma State, Southern Illinois, CBS Sports Network lines. Oklahoma State by 9.75. And it's only 1.5, 132.5. I'll lay with Oklahoma State. Occidental, UC San Diego, we skip. Pacific, Idaho. My line is Pacific 4.25, and it's Idaho 2.5, total 142.5. Give me Pacific plus the points, plus 116 outright. Kent State, South Dakota State at 9.15 minus South Dakota State by 1.5. And it is 1.5 and 144.5 over. Whittier, Cal State, Bakersfield, we could skip. Cleveland State, St. Mary's at 10 o'clock. My line is St. Mary's by 11.25. And it's 14.5 and 133.5. I'm going to take Cleveland State to cover. St. Mary's has been frauds all year. They probably shouldn't have been ranked in the preseason. They have to win this game, though, but I just think that Cleveland State covers. Idaho State, Fresno State lines Fresno 2.25. And it's 9.5 and 1.5. Give me Idaho State to cover. That's a big number. And last but not least, Montana State, Washington, 11 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network lines Washington 14.5. And it's 18.5 and 144.5. I'll take Montana State to cover the number. All right, now I'll move on to the NBA. In-season tournament quarterfinals results, and then we have 2 more quarterfinal games today. My pick to win the in-season tournament is out as the Pacers get best bet done for me with a 122-112 win in the quarterfinals over the Boston Celtics. And then out west, the Pelicans beat the Kings 127-17 in the other quarterfinal matchup as the Pelicans rally back because of a good performance by Brandon Ingram. All right, 7:30 on TNT tonight. Knicks Bucks. I have no clue who is calling the game for this. I know Stan Van Gundy was on the call of the second game with Brian Anderson. I think it was Spiro Ditas in the first one. Yes, with Greg Anthony. So you would think Iron Eagles on the Knicks, and then Harlan and Miller are Suns Lakers. That makes sense. Yeah, Iron Eagle for sure. Probably with I don't think it'll be Stan Van. But we'll see. It's going to be Iron Eagle and somebody on the Knick game. My projection for Knicks Bucks is Bucks by 6.25 till 227 and 4/5. And this line has gone all the way down the 4.5 total to 226.5. I am not betting on this game at all. But slight lean Bucks. I think the Knicks are getting a little bit too much buzz as an underdog here. And I get it, the Pacers were getting buzzed too, but they went outright and they were home. The worst thing that could have happened to the Knicks in the in-season tournament from, just in general, was Miami blowing that Bucks game because they would have had the home game. Maybe they would have been the ones to beat the Celtics, and then the Pacers would have had to go to Milwaukee. But it's going to be a lot harder to beat the Bucks in Milwaukee than if they were to play the Celtics at home and potentially win that game. So I'm going to give the Bucks out, and it'll come down to free throws at the end, and that's how they'll put it away and in Dame time. And then 10 o'clock on TNT, Suns Lakers. My line's Lakers by 5, total 227 3/4. And it's 1.5 and 227. Woof, I'm laying it with the Lakers. They're going to gear up for this one. It's a big game. LeBron versus Durant. I think both guys are going to play, meaning LeBron and AD. And I think that they're a team that likes to show up when it matters. And I think they're going to do so here in the in-season tournament. So I'm going to lay 1.5 with the Lakers at home against the Suns. And I feel much better about that than I do about the Bucks covering against the Knicks. All right, move on to the NHL now. Tonight's a big window, if I'm not mistaken. We'll go over the results from yesterday. First, Lightning over the Stars 4-0. Flyers over the Pens 2-1 in OT. Habs over the Kraken 4-2. Jets over the Canes 2-1. Coyotes over the Caps 6-0. And the Blues over the Golden Knights 2-1 in overtime. All right, a big window tonight. We'll kick things off in Ottawa as the Rangers will take on the Sens. The Rangers are minus 134. The Sens are plus 112. Over under 6.5. Over is minus 105. Under is minus 115. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 176. Sens plus 1.5 is minus 215. I'm going to go with the under in the game. I think this is a Igor Shesterkin, reminding everybody that he's still Igor Shesterkin type of game. And by the way, there's only 8 tonight. I thought there was like 11 or 12 tonight. Also at 7, Kings, Blue Jackets. Kings minus 20, Jackets plus 180, over under 6.5, overs plus 102, unders minus 124. Kings minus 1.5 is plus 112, Jackets plus 1.5 is minus 134. The Kings are playing really good hockey. I think they're going to cover. Then they'll lay the minus 1.5 with LA. 7:30 ESPN Plus and Hulu, Red Wings, Sabres. Red Wings minus 128, Sabres plus 106, over under 6.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Red Wings plus 1.5. Or minus 1.5 is plus 188. Sabres plus 1.5 is minus 230. I'm going to go with the over, but I don't feel good about it. Sharks, Islanders. Isles minus 265. Sharks plus 215. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 132. Unders plus 108. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 111. Isles minus 1.5 is plus or minus 108. So the Sharks have covered both games in the East Coast, New York area. They won outright at New Jersey, and they came back and made that Ranger game a lot more interesting than it should have been. This is a hard one, but I think the Islanders are going to cover the number, so I'm going to lay the minus 1.5 on the puck line. 8:30, Preds, Blackhawks from Chicago. Preds minus 176, Blackhawks plus 146, over under 6.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Preds minus 1.5 is plus 134. Blackhawks plus 1.5 is minus 162. Over. Ducks, Avalanche at 9. Avs minus 310. Ducks plus 245. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Ducks plus 1.5 is even money. Avs minus 1.5 is minus 120. I like the over a lot. Wild Flames. Each team's minus 110, so it's a pick 'em. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 275. Flames minus 1.5 is plus 220. I'm going to go with the over. And on NHL Network tonight, 10 o'clock, Devils Canucks. So Quinn Hughes against Jack and Luke Hughes. This is also a pick of minus 110 each way. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 260. Vancouver minus 1.5 is plus 210. I'm going Vancouver minus 110. They're better than New Jersey. The reason this is a pick 'em is because Jersey's been a little bit better since Jack Hughes has come back, but they just lost to the Sharks. Are they really the same team as last year? I'm going to say no. So I'm going to take Vancouver minus 110. Okay, now move on to soccer. We will go over yesterday's notable results, look ahead to today's notable games. There's no Champions League today, which is unfortunate. But we do have a lot today that we have to get to. But we'll go over yesterday's stuff first. We'll start with Serie A. Torino over Atalanta 3-0. La Liga. Celta Vigo Cadiz 1-1 draw. And FA Cup. Wimbledon over Ramsgate 5-0. And today in FA Cup at 2:45, you have Alfreton, Tau, and Walsall. I'm going to check and see if that is up. No, it is not. But I think that Walsall will win that match. We'll start with the Premier League. We have a couple of games today. 2:30, you have Wolves and Burnley. Wolves is in 13th. Burnley's 19th. So these teams are not that far off. Wolves is minus 115. Burnley's plus 340. The draw is plus 250. I'm going to go with the Wolves at home at minus 115. They're just better. And at 3:15, we have Luton and Arsenal. Arsenal's at the top of the league. Luton is at the bottom of the league. Arsenal's a big favorite, minus 550. Luton is 15-1. The draw is 6-1. For this one, I'm going to go with, this is a hard one to do. So, we're going to do over 3.5 goals at plus 168. I knew I wanted to go with something a little, with a nice number. All right, the DFB Pokal is today, round of 16. So at 12 o'clock, you have Magdeburg and Dusseldorf. Magdeburg's plus 140. Dusseldorf's plus 170. The draw's plus 250. Both these teams are playing good right now. I think that's a draw plus 250. Kaiserslautern and Nuremberg. Kaiserslautern is plus 115. Nuremberg's plus 230. Draws plus 230. I'm going to go with Kaiserslautern at home here, plus 115. 245 Gladbach and Wolfsburg. Gladbach is even money. Wolfsburg's plus 230. Draws plus 270. Go with Gladbach at even money. And last but not least, Hamburg and St. Pauli. We don't have the betting stuff for that, but I think St. Pauli should get it done on the road. Copa del Rey second round. 1 o'clock on Adzenta and Getafe. Getafe should win. Arosa and Valencia. Valencia should win. Espanyol and Valladolid. That game might be posted. Yes. Espanyol's plus 115. Real Valladolid's plus 220. The draw's plus 230. I'll go with the draw plus 230. The other odds are up, by the way. But they're obviously big favorites, Getafe and Valencia. Castellon and Real Oviedo. Castellon is plus 130. Oviedo is plus 220. The draw is plus 210. I'm going to go Castellon at plus 130. Coppa Italia today, 3 o'clock, Lazio and Genoa. Lazio's minus 60, Genoa's plus 490, the draw's plus 250. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 116. Women's friendlies today, 3 o'clock, you have Colombia and New Zealand. Let's see if this is up. Yes, Colombia minus 185, New Zealand plus 480, the draws plus 270. Over 2.5 goals minus 108. Chile, Peru. Chile minus 1450, Peru's 31-1, the draws plus 850. Over 3.5 goals plus 118. 8 o'clock on True TV, U.S. China. U.S. minus 1800, China's 34-1, the draw is 10-1. I'm going over 3.5 goals minus 118. And 10 o'clock, you have Canada and Australia. Canada's minus 160, Australia's plus 400, the draw is plus 260. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at minus 118. Okay, now move on to the portfolio. Rest in peace to the Celtics to win the in-season tournament bet. That was fun. But Indiana had other plans, and we cashed in on the Pacers plus the points and best bet yesterday. So there's a couple things that I wanted to look at for portfolio. In a various different number of sports. The last couple weeks I picked a couple of national title winners in college basketball. But kind of want to go to the NFL for futures. And now I'm going to look at divisions. The AFC South is freaking locked, of course. Yeah, I really don't like any of the division odds. But there is a player in the MVP conversation that I think should be single-digit odds. But I think I missed the boat on when his number was valuable to bet, and that's Tyreek Hill. He's sitting there at 15-1. He needs a minus 200 favorite for Offensive Player of the Year. Coach of the Year is a good one. And there's a lot of coaches in play for this. And I think I missed the boat with Shane Steichen. He's now 7-1. Mike Tomlin, obviously, rest in peace to whoever had him for Coach of the Year with the ticket, because to me, you shouldn't be Coach of the Year if you lose at home to the Cardinals. But there's a couple of coaches that I think are still in play for this award. And I just don't want to pull the trigger on somebody only for them to miss the playoffs. So this is just very hard to figure out. Does baseball have any futures? That's a really good question. Because don't you want to take a team before it makes a move? They just have World Series and league winners. And player specials. I'll tell you what, Vegas seems to think that the Yankees are getting somebody, because the Yankees have the third best odds to win the American League this year. So Vegas is telling you that they think the Yankees are slight favorites in the AL East. And that's probably because they think they're getting Juan Soto and potentially Yamamoto. The Cubs are 15-1. They, in the National League, that stands out. What if they get Ohtani? That number's only going to go up. But I really don't want to put money on a team to win the World Series in December, banking on a free agent signing. So let's look at the NBA. In-season tournament MVP Jalen Brunson is 16-1. That's a fun one. Chet Holmgren's now the favorite for Rookie of the Year. Tyrese Maxey's even money for Most Improved. I got Sengun at a good number. But yeah, there's not a lot of value on some of these awards, but you could argue there's value on a certain somebody for MVP by the name of LeBron James. He's 100-1, and he's still a great basketball player. If you ask me, and his teammate Anthony Davis has better odds than him. Make sense of that, everybody. Kevin Durant at 25-1's a good one. Booker 35-1. That's a good one. Why is Booker 35-1? Anthony Edwards was 30. That's a good number, too. I got SGA at a good number a while ago. That went down. So, I'm going to take one of these two stars for MVP. And because I think the number's better and this player's team is going to be on national TV a lot, I'm going to go with Devin Booker for MVP at 35-1, and I'm going to lay a fifth of a unit on it. Devin Booker, MVP, 35-1. That's ridiculous. He should not be 35-1. So that's a fun portfolio bet. All right, the season finale of Dancing with the Stars is tonight. I did not cover this show in its entirety on the podcast this season because we were very busy. So the semifinalists, we have Allison Hannigan and Sasha Farber, Sochi Gomez and Val Tremovsky, Charity Lawson and Artem Chignastev, Ariana Maddox and Pasha Pashkov, and Jason Mraz and Daniela Karagach. So all 5 pairs performed last week, and they did not vote anybody out. After it was revealed at the end of the episode that nobody was going to be eliminated and all the scores would carry over to the finale. So, for this week, each couple will perform one redemption dance in their freestyle routine. All eliminated couples from this season are expected to perform Young Hearts Run Free by Candy Staten, and the Mariah Carey Christmas number featuring special guests and the song and dance styles of Alfonso Ribeiro and Julianne Hough is planned. And then last season's champions, Charlie D'Amelio and Mark Ballas, are set to return and perform a new routine. And Jason Mraz will perform his song, I Feel Like Dancing. So, I'm excited. It's going to be a good show for sure. And then make the predictions on who's going to win and what place everybody's going to come in. I think coming in 5th will be Allison and Sasha. I think they're the weakest group left, or weakest pair left. Next up, eliminated, I think, coming in 4th will be Ariana and Pasha. 3rd place, I think, will be Jason and Daniela. 2nd place, I think, will be Charity and Artem. And I think that Val and Shochi will win. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to the show. And we'll recap it on tomorrow's show. All right, news and notes for today. There's a lot that we have to get into for this. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence sprained his ankle. And if that didn't happen, the Jaguars probably would have won. So hopefully he'll be okay. And he will undergo MRI today. And then Christian Kirk left last night's game because of a groin injury. Puka Nacua expected to play against the Ravens on Sunday, so that's good. Jeffrey Simmons supposed to be out a couple of weeks due to a knee injury. That's not good for Tennessee. The Titans clarified Derrick Henry's injury as it isn't concussion protocol despite earlier report. Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson out weeks as he has a high ankle sprain. I just thought of something really funny. Did anybody see during the Cowboys game last week the preview for the Thursday night game? It was T.J. Watt and the Steelers against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They couldn't even find a Patriots player, so they put Bill Belichick. I don't think you ever seen that in one of the four big sports. Like you see it in college, like you see Nick Saban in Alabama, Coach K, John Calipari. You've seen it with those guys, but you never see it in any of the four professional sports. That's why it's hysterical that they had to put Bill Belichick's picture on the preview for the Steelers-Patriots game. I mean, at least, like, the Giants have, like, Saquon Barkley to market. And then the Cardinals now have Kyler Murray back. The Panthers, who would they have to market? Bryce Young. But yeah, Bill Belichick. They had to put his face on the preview. When I saw that, I literally couldn't believe it. And then Raheem Mostert was obviously rooting for the Bengals as he didn't want the Jaguars to win and get the AFC's 1 seed because right now the 1 seed is the Dolphins. Robert Saleh disputes the report that Zach Wilson is reluctant to play. Obviously, someone's lying. After it was reported that Zach Wilson wasn't all in. Shaq Leonard is joining the Eagles as he picks a sign with the Eagles over Dallas. That's a big get for Philly. The NFL is reviewing Eagles incident as they're reviewing the sideline exchange between Dre Greenlaw and Stafford Dom DeSandro. Some college stuff. The Heisman finalists were revealed. Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Daniels is going to win despite having 3 losses, although I think that Penix made himself a really last-second good argument in the Pac-12 title game. I think Bo Nix is out. Although I thought Caleb was out last year, and then he ended up winning it despite losing the Pac-12 title game. Although Bo played better than Caleb did at this time last year in the title game for the Pac-12. Deion Sanders is eyeing a veteran quarterback because they're looking for an older quarterback from the portal to back up Shader. Alabama quarterback Tyler Buckner enters transfer portal for lacrosse as he switches sports. Julian Fleming, who is a former 5-star recruit, is leaving Ohio State as he's entering the transfer portal. Caleb Williams is sit in the Holiday Bowl against Louisville. That's not surprising. Deion Sanders says, "You're not going to leave Georgia and Alabama out. It ain't no playoff if you do that." So he thinks both should have gotten in. And who should have been out? Texas? The College Football Playoff Committee didn't think Florida State could win, as selection committee ultimately felt that Seminoles were not good enough to win a championship. They're right. I don't want to hear crap anymore. Without Jordan Travis, they're not good enough to win the title. Everyone and their mother that knows college football should know that, and the only people that are crying over it are people that are from Tallahassee or are Florida State alumni or Florida State fans. So, screw that. The 4 teams that are in the playoff belong. So, yeah, that's that. Arch Manning to stay at Texas. Now we have to rapid fire these. Barkley guarantees the Celtics to win it all. That's the kiss of death. They couldn't even beat the Pacers in in-season tournament. This was very sad. A guest at the Pelicans-Kings game passed away due to a medical emergency during the first quarter of last night's game. That's very sad. Thoughts and prayers to that fan and the family and the Kings. So that's very sad. Ohtani met with the Blue Jays, so that's interesting. Padres have 5 offers for Soto. Yanks remain on top of the list. The Braves remain engaged with Ohtani's camp. Ohtani could pick the Angels, which would be kind of a letdown, in my opinion, because everybody is hoping for him to go to the Dodgers or the Cubs or some bigger market team. Not that Anaheim isn't that big of a market. It's like a mid-market kind of deal, as I talked about with James the other day about the Angels. But he might go back there. That's a little bit of a letdown. Jarrett Kelenic does not mention the Mariners in his Instagram thank you post after the trade. Jackson Chourio signs the contract with the Brewers. And that's it for news and notes. Best Bet brought to you by FanDuel. There's a couple that I like. I am going to go to college basketball, and there was a game I absolutely loved. I'm taking Mike Woodson in Indiana getting the points against Michigan. That is way too high. Michigan should not be favored by that many points. I don't think Michigan's very good. I don't think Indiana's that good either, but they're better than Michigan. I think they're going to win outright too, but I'm just going to take them to cover the point spread here for best bet. So Indiana plus 7.5, quarter unit against Michigan for best bet. All right, guys, for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. We'll get to everything tomorrow, including another episode of Survivor and The Masked Singer. Have a great day, everyone.